Okay, so the next part of the interview is what's next in terms of your career. So your extensive career includes numerous books, articles, publications, of course, and then experiences also, including your deanship and these other national positions, leadership positions that you've held. What else would you like to accomplish that you have not done?
Well, the first thing is I'm 83 years old. And if I'm 83 years old, I ought to be tossing in the towel for some of these things.
But you're still here every day.
Since I retired in order to create this mobility within the faculty, and I had wonderful adventures. First of all, being head of an education research foundation and trying to work to build the education research field was a very challenging activity, which I'm still marginally involved. Then I went on, and then I was chair of the board of Carnegie Foundation, which was a very interesting activity, and I'm very pleased to have done that. I've been on 3 corporate boards in these post-retirement, 1 before retirement, well, 1.5 before retirement, but 2 in the post-retirement period. I've been on the board of a university that I care deeply about in Budapest, Central European University, that the current Hungarian government is trying to shut down in its return to authoritarian rule and the rejection of democracy, and that's been an ongoing and deeply compelling experience. Where I was, in the end, I was vice chair for the academic affairs of the board. And I was on the board of the Liberal Arts College of St. Petersburg State University in Russia, where I was tossed out 2 years ago in part of the Russian-U.S. difficulties. The 2 Americans were told their services were no longer required. I'm pleased to keep up with some of these issues. I enjoy very much seeing graduate students and people whom I had known as graduate students here. And from time to time I put pen to paper or finger to keyboard to write a little something, as this talk that I'm giving next week in Singapore.
Of what in your professional career are you most proud?
I think Deep Creek.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's touching.
In an odd way.
I like that answer. What impact would you still like your research to have?
Oh, I'd like opportunities for children in low-income communities, many of whom are non-white, to have a better shot than they have now.
Okay. And then the final part of our show is the introspective questions section. So who do you believe, or who multiple people have had the greatest impact on you and the person and scholar you've become today?
Oh, my family, of course. My parents, my husband, our daughter. I think probably Larry Kremen as my major advisor, who completely accidentally couldn't remember the name of the second author, who saw to it that when I went off to live in Moscow with my husband, insisted that I take my prelims for my PhD before I was prepared, before I'd taken all the courses that were required. He said, just take them. Take these on a fly, the written exam and the oral exam. See if you pass. If you don't pass, come back and take them again when you've studied. Well, I passed. And of course, that was a big development. Martha Peterson, who was the president of Barnard, unlike many liberal arts college presidents, was not willing to write off the education department, the education program. And I guess Derek Bach, with whom I fought vigorously over the Radcliffe stuff, and then we came to an agreement over the School of Education to keep it open. And he's now a good friend, as is his wife, Sisela.
Perfect. What inspires you?
Those kids.
I can see that. It's touching. What do you find uninspiring?
People who believe that education is not as important as their ability to manipulate the system through their wealth or their connections.
Okay. What is your favorite word?
My favorite word? Please.
What's your favorite curse word?
I don't have those. They're all in Russian.
Okay, good answer. What profession other than your own would you have liked to attempt?
Well, I wanted to be a journalist.
Oh, sure.
I don't know whether I would have liked that as well. My husband says I should have been a lawyer. I don't know about that. And I don't know quite where that comes from.
My husband says that about me too, so I have a little insight on that possibly. What profession other than what you chose would you have not liked to attempt?
A football coach.
Okay. What is your favorite book?
Kristen Lavransdatter, My Secret Inset. It's a woman in medieval Scandinavia.
Okay. Close ties to your heritage then.
Well, I suppose it's partly because of that, but I think more the notion of what it's like to be a woman when your role outside the home is unconventional. And for me, it was unconventional to work full-time.
Sure. And then also with your mom's history as
Yeah.
well. If you could tell President Trump one thing, what would it be?
Don't tweet.
Don't tweet. Fair enough. If you could have dinner with anybody, dead or alive, who would it be and why?
My husband.
Alive.
He's alive, absolutely.
Lovely. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Good afternoon.
Oh. And finally, what advice might you offer to graduate students and beginning researchers who hope to make a contribution like you to education and educational research?
Be interested and work hard.
Okay. Well, that's it.
I'm a great believer in hard work, actually.
On behalf of all of us, educators, scholars, future educationists, educational researchers, and the like, we thank you, Dr. Patricia Alyurg Graham, for everything you do, and most of all for being you.
Thank you.
And really see your beautiful work that you've done, and also the beautiful
Thank you.
spirit that you have for
Thank you.
education and passion.